Hi Nancy, this is just me. I wanted to make this video because I really wanted you to know how important you are to me, how much you've inspired me. I didn't want to go on and you not know how much you've inspired me. So let me tell you my story really quick. Like a while back, I don't know if you remember my whole incident with the shooting. And getting back into the classroom was really hard, and I honestly thought that I was not going to be able to come back into the classroom. My work experience was not really being in the classroom. Let me begin with that. I was an operations manager for a retail company, so retail is more my thing, and management is more my thing. So when the shooting happened, I felt that it was a sign from God telling me that this education thing was not for me, and that's where I was. Long story short, after the school district, got me a psychiatrist and a therapist and so on and so forth, and they told me that the best way for me to get back into the rhythm of things was to maybe go back to go back to school so that I can feel comfortable being in the classroom. Long story short, this is where you come in. I was still in the process of trying to decide if this was for me because I felt that this was not for me. I didn't have the education for it. I have a degree in art, but it was not an education. So long story short, I went to school. I went back to school, and I was taking this class. It was critical thinking with debate, for argument debate, and it was a really hard class. And I really thought to myself, it's not going to work for me. I'm not going to do it. And I wasn't going to do it. And on the day that the paper was due, we were supposed to write a paper, and the paper was about zero tolerance of back when Trump was doing his thing, and I had to write a paper on it. And Nancy hadn't written a paper in a long time, so for me it was like, no, this is not going to work. And I was just going to drop the class, but something inside of me was stirring and saying, no, 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 no. And I went to a training that you did. And the training was the trauma, how trauma affects children. And I remember that as I sat there in the Sanji parking lot, I started praying. And I was like, Lord, if this is something that you want me to do, you're going to give me a sign. You're going to make it so obvious that I will not doubt it. And so that day I was supposed to write the paper. Like I said, instead of writing the paper, I said, I'm just going to go to this meeting, and that's that. I went to your meeting your training. And Nancy, oh my goodness, the training that you did, it was the most amazing training I've ever had in my life. And mind you, I'm not no young person. This was amazing. It was, I don't know if you remember, it was a training that you did a while back on the trauma of kids. Girl, I took notes. I've never done that before. I took notes on it. The training that you did was just, like I said, amazing. And so I took it in, and I was absorbing it in. And as I was at home, I brought all those notes. I've never done that before, by the way, never. I went over all the notes that that I had taken in the training, and then it was just like clarity, like a little voice telling me, why don't you use that information for the paper? What did I have to lose, right? So the information that you taught me, I put it on paper. I wrote a paper that night, and I thought, okay, the next day I turned in the paper, and I thought, okay, if this is meant to be, again, praying, if this is meant to be, God, it's going to be obvious. It's going to be so obvious that I will know. Nancy, not only did I get an A on that paper, but my professor was like blown away. He told me, you know what, you need to enter our debate team. So he entered me in the debate team. Nancy, that is like not even nothing of what I am. I was like, what? Okay. But again, I was like, okay, following. Okay, Lord, if this is what you want, I will follow it. I will follow it. And I was following it. I entered a debate team. The paper that I wrote got a lot of recognition, so much that my professor entered me in a competition, a debate competition. Up to this day, Nancy, that is like the most weirdest, craziest thing that's ever happened to me, because I am a really reserved person. So to stand in front of people and do a full debate, it was, I a supernatural experience. There's no other word to say it, because I've never done anything like that. And the day that my professor told me that I was going to enter the competition, I was a little scared. The competition was against 4 different colleges. Several news stations came to videotape it. And Nancy, I was shaking. I was shaking, like throwing up. I wanted to go to the bathroom, throw up. I mean, oh my goodness. But again, in prayer, I said, okay, I'm going to use the paper that Nancy inspired me to write. And then as I was in getting everything together, because the debate was really hard, that competition was really hard for me. And I prayed and I said, look, is this a sign? Again, Lord, you're going to make this obvious. Nancy, like I said again, I debating is not my thing. And the fact that I was in debate team was like already, ooh. And the fact that I was being asked to be a part of this competition was already like, okay, as long as to me it was just the fact, if I could do the competition and not throw up or not faint in front of the cameras, that was all I was aiming for. You know, that was, to me, that alone would have been a sign. But the Lord doesn't work that way, right? Not only did I was able to do that sign, but I won 2nd place. And I keep it right here. I keep that right there to remind me that I had prayed, I had asked, and I did receive. And for me not to say thank you to you, because, you know, of course, everything was in God's hands, needless to say, but it was you. It was you. And it's always been you. You're always there for me. And I wanted to make sure that I thanked you. You're the best teacher I've ever had. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was trying to cry, but girl, you really did touch me. Thank you so much. Goodbye.